So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I hope you will join me here in listening to the words of Rebbe Nachman ben Fege. Rebbe Nachman is also called, I think his father's name was Shalom. So he's also called by some Breslev by the Rebbe Nachman ben Shalom. But I always learned that his mother was related to the Baal Shem Tov. She was a granddaughter of the Baal Shem Tov. So therefore, he has a tremendous connection over there with his mother. That's where I originally learned it. So let's see some more of Likutei Maharan. I'm really enjoying the Pirush on this. I think that I can work it out much better these days than at any other time. So we had the concept of the birds. The birds are opposites. The birds which can either speak, they speak for either good things or bad things. We see then that the virtuous person draws his song from the two live birds. So he said, when a person is virtuous, I can't quite see this. When a person is virtuous and pure, he can draw his voice from an unblemished source, from purity, from the cherubs. That's the concept there. The cherubs are found in the most holy, the most special place in the universe. So let's go on. Thus it is written in the Zohar that these two birds nurse from the same place that prophets nurse. I'm going to get into that. There's a little bit to learn over here. We'll see how we can do. This is why a singer is called a chazan. What's chazan mean? From the word chazon, which connotes prophecy. Chazon is a chazon Eliyahu. I'm trying to think of where I see the word, this chazon Eliyahu, which we say in the parsha, the parsha right before Tisha B'Av, which connotates prophecy. The chazan takes his song for the same place that the prophets nurse. Now, all of these ideas are tremendous, tremendous ideas, and let's see what we can do with them. So here we have a number 6, the place that the prophets nurse. Now that was a great idea. Why does Scripture emphasize that the leper brings live pure birds? From the continuation of the verse itself, I understand that these birds, which are called chayot, are alive. However, the term chayot in the verse alludes to other chayot, that is, these are living things, the angels that accompany God's chariot. We know that these chayos are identified with the source of prophecy. Now, we have to really read that again, because I read things and I don't really understand the metaphor, so I need to look at it again. He said the word chayot. So that's the word chay, which is a Hebrew word for life. So this is like living creatures. However, the term chayot in the verse, so when it comes from this verse, what did the verse say? He says, why does Scripture emphasize that the length brings 2 live birds? So those are chayos. So what's the big deal about chayos? So it's talking really about other chayos, because, like the birds that you bring, they're not going to be dead birds, right? So it really refers here to the angel that accompanies God's chariot, which is called the Merkava. So what's a Merkava? The Merkava is like, you go to the amusement park, and this is a Ferris wheel that goes straight up, doesn't go around. Maybe it goes around in a different way, but it starts going straight up. And he said, that's the chariot. It also comes straight down. It carries your prayers, your Torah, and your goals of your life up to the source of all things, which is the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So that's God's chariot. So the angels, that's part of the idea of Chaya. They're alive. In other words, did you know that these angels are here right now listening along with you and me? So he said from Yechezkel or Ezekiel, we know that those chayots are identified with the source of prophecy. Now, commentaries to this passage, the passage in the Zohar, add that these chayos correspond to the 2 spheros that are the source of prophecy. Now, in Zer Anpin, as we said before, is composed of 6 spheros, which are called Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, and here they are, Netzach and Hod. Now, there's also a 6th one, which is a kolel, or a basket, so to speak, a final receptacle which is called Yesod. So he says the Netzach and Hod is really the source of prophecy. I'd like to understand this. As long as the holy ark with the cherubs stood in the Holy of Holies, and let's go back through his words, that was the ark, had within it the tablets. This is a place which is absolutely sacred. The cherubs that stood on top of the ark, they were all in the Holy of Holies, which is called in Hebrew the Kadshi Kadshi. Now Netzach and Hod are really the right side of Zer Anpin and the left side of Zer Anpin. These are two opposites. And the relationship between Zer Anpin and Malchus was complete prophecy, was prevalent in the world. Now, all of this, he didn't really teach me what Netzach and Hod do. Why Netzach and Hod? Zer Anpin has 6 spheros. Why these two? They're the last two. And they're opposites, male and female. And the relationship between Zer Anpin and Malchus, which is also two opposites, was complete. Prophecy was prevalent in the world. So you had all of this. Netzach and Hod were complete. They were bringing in the mochin of, that's what actually Netzach carries within it, the mochin of Chochmah. And the Hod carries within it the mochin of Bina. So these two opposites are now going to come together and form in Zer Anpin the ability to mate, which means procreate. Moreover, just as prophecy and the Chayat are identified with Netzach and Hod, so by extension we can conclude that the two birds mentioned in our lesson corresponds to the same Netzach and Hod. This is true, although it appears to contradict the Ari's teaching that the two birds correspond to the two sefirot known as Mochin. Mochin really means a moach is a brain, so it's a mochin, which means mentalities are brains, but I refer to it energies, an energy of Kedusha, namely Chochmah and Bina. So the Chochmah and Bina, as I had explained, and I think I explained it fairly well, are traveled down the right line of Zer Anpin and the left line of Zer Anpin from Chochmah onto Netzach, and for Netzach it's going to go to Yesod. And then on Bina, from Bina, it's going to flow down into Hod, which will eventually pour that also into the Yesod, and the two will meet there. These two mochin of Chochmah and Bina. However, this will be clarified later, so later on there's going to be a note, and I guess, I don't know what this two with the scriggle really means there, where the Rebbe introduced the concept of building up the mochin of Malchus of Holiness. So we have a few more minutes. Let's see if I can get through at least one more paragraph. So far, we have seen that the two birds, the cherubs, Netzach and Hod, and Zer Anpin and Malchus, are all corresponding concepts. In other words, they're bechinas of each other. That's the Hebrew phrase. Rebbe Nachman next adds a song to this group, and over the course of the lesson, shows how all these concepts are interconnected. Having said this, it must be clear that regarding the structure of the Sefirot, that is, Netzach and Hod are in no way parallels of the divine personas of Zer Anpin and Malchus. Now, what he said here basically is Netzach and Hod are parts of Zer Anpin and Malchus. Zer Anpin and Malchus coming together and being called Zun in Hebrew, by their initials. So this also must be clear that regarding the structure of the sphere, Netzach and Hod are in no way parallels of the divine personas of Zer Anpin and Malchus. Allusion to both as corresponding aspects of the two birds must be understood within their particular concepts, as would be clarified below. Now, I'm just saying that what is my understanding, boy, I really should have pushed that up, and I'm really sorry about this. But speaking outside of this, is that what we're talking about here is opposites, bringing opposites together. So in this case, he wants to say the Netzach and Hod are actually a part of Zer Anpin. So therefore, they can't be compared to Zer Anpin. But what is it about that? Those parts of Zer Anpin is that they're opposites, just like Zer Anpin is the opposite of Malchus. Reminders. Okay, I'm going to skip that part, the reminder. And this is Baruch Fleischman. We are here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I'm trying to get into Rebbe Nachman and learn.